Hi, my name is Joel Vanta. I'm here to present some of the questions that you might encounter during your technical interview. One of the questions that you might encounter is this: explain the OSI model. The Open System Interconnection or OSI model is a conceptual framework used to understand the network interactions in 7 layers. First, you have layer 1 or the physical layer. Next layer is the layer 2, which is the data link layer. Layer 3 is the network layer. Layer 4 is transport layer. Layer 5 is the session layer. Layer 6 is the presentation layer. And layer 7 is the application layer. Each layer serves specific functions and communicates with layers directly above and below it. Another question is this: walk me through how you would build a small network, local area network or LAN. What are the main components and what do they do? So, in order for you to build a small local area network or a LAN, you need the following. First, you need a router. Next, you have a switch. Next, you have your cables or your Wi Fi and your network interface cards. So, a router connects the network to the internet and routes traffic between devices. The switch connects devices within the local area network, allowing them to communicate. Then the cables or the Wi Fi Ethernet cables or Wi Fi to connect the devices. Then your network interface cards, there are hardware in each device to enable network communication or connection. Next, what is TELNET and SSH? So, TELNET is a protocol used for accessing remote computers over a network using a command line interface. However, it is not secure as it transmits data in plain text. And SSH or the secure shell is a protocol providing secure encrypted communications between two untrusted hosts over an insecure network, often used for remote administration. Another question is, what is the difference between symmetric and asymmetric encryption? So symmetric encryption uses the same key for both encryption and decryption. It is faster but requires secure key exchange, while asymmetric encryption uses a pair of keys, public and private. So the public key encrypts and the private key decrypts. So it's slower but facilitates secure key distribution. Next, you have what is the difference between HTTP and HTTPS? So HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. It is a protocol used for transmitting web pages over the internet, wherein data is sent in plain text, while HTTPS, which is a secured HTTP, it encrypts HTTP requests and responses with TLS and SSL, and ensuring secure and private exchange of data. Then, how do you get a certificate using HTTPS, aka how does TLS work? So during the TLS handshake, the server presents a certificate to the client issued by a trusted certificate authority or a CA. Then this certificate verifies the server's identity and facilitates encrypted communication. How about what is a TCP handshake? So the TCP handshake or a three-way handshake involves three steps to establish a connection between a client and a server. You have the SYN or SYN, the synchronize, the SYN ACK or synchronize acknowledge, and ACK or acknowledge. Then how does TCP provide reliability? TCP provides reliability through error checking, sequence numbers, so to order the packets correctly, acknowledgements, and retransmissions of lost packets. How do you end a TCP session normally? Any other ways? So a TCP session is normally ended using a four-way handshake involving a fin or a finish and ACK messages. And it also ends abruptly due to timeouts or RST or reset packets. What are the different TCP flags and generally what do they do? So the different TCP flags are SYN, which initiates a connection, the ACK, which acknowledges received data, FIN, which politely closes a connection, RST, which abruptly aborts a connection, PSH, which pushes data to the receiving application, and URG or URG, which indicates that the data is urgent. What is the difference between TCP and UDP? So, TCP or the Transmission Control Protocol is a connection oriented, reliable, ensures data is delivered in order and without errors, while UDP or User Datagram Protocol is connectionless, less reliable, used for applications needing fast, efficient transmission like video streaming. What is DHCP? What information does it provide? DHCP stands for Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, which automatically assigns IP addresses and other network configurations to devices, reducing manual setup. It provides IP address, subnet mask, gateway, and DNS information. What is DNS? What are the different records you can get from DNS? So, DNS stands for Domain Name System, which translates domain names to IP addresses. Common DNS records include A, addresses record for IP version 4, AAAA for IP version 6, address, MX for mail exchange, and CNAME for canonical name for aliases. Briefly explain recursive and iterative DNS queries. In a recursive query, a DNS server will perform the full lookup, returning the final result to the client, while in an iterative query, the DNS server points the client to another server to continue its query, returning a partial answer. What is MTU and MSS? MTU stands for Maximum Transmission Unit, which is the largest packet size that can be transmitted over a network. MSS stands for Maximum Segment Size, which is the largest segment of data TCP can send in a single packet. How would you find the IP address information on a Windows host and a Linux? So in Windows, use ipconfig in the command prompt, while in Linux, you use ifconfig or IP space A in the terminal. Thank you for watching my video presentation. I hope you learned a lot from the questions that I presented. Thank you.